Hey, this is Gary with Today for Tomorrow. If you've seen my other videos, you know I'm a huge fan of food forests because of all the wonderful things they do to help our planet. But I've never shot a video on how they help us as individuals. Today that changes. We're going to Mineola, Florida to meet with Katie Kamala Haley in her pineapple peace garden. And she's going to share with us her wonderful connection with her food forest and all the ways that a food forest can impact us, can impact our health and our sense of well-being. I'm super excited. Let's go meet Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Kamala Haley, and I'm the founder of Pineapple Peace Garden, and that's where we're at today to give you a tour of my food forest. So thanks for joining us. I started this project 2 years ago here in Claremont, Florida. I decided to come back here due to the pandemic, and I wanted a project, and this is my parents' property. It was all grass, so I'm pretty proud of Mother Nature, of how fast everything has grown. So I decided to build this. My nieces call it the fairy cottage, and it's a healing cottage, so I would have my own space later if I want it to be more of a tiny house, but right now it has an area for my meditation and my writing and music and things that I like to do. So each section has a theme. So over here is really the food forest section. There's 39 trees that are planted within the whole property, and each archway kind of signifies what the garden is. So this is fruit trees, medicinal trees, a lot of different pollinators and native Florida plants. We have a lemon, we have Barbados cherry, and I want to show you the figs. You know, part of this project, because people don't know where their food comes from, and you know, we have kids that know figs from, you know, dried figs or fig Newtons, but they don't know how they really grow. So connecting with nature is really the reason why I've done this. I've always been a plant person. I had an aromatherapy company for 18 years and traveled all around, worked with farmers in different countries, spent a lot of time in India where I first learned of the moringa tree. And I just, I love plants. So let's see some other areas. And this project is really about in the middle because I'm getting ready to build a greenhouse over here, on the other side, a yoga deck, and expand into solar. I've got rain catchment systems, which in the back I'm gonna do more. And really getting the infrastructure was important. Like I said, it was all grass before. And part of the reason why I love being out here is it's a meditation, and I feel strongly that we need to balance our screen time with green time. Do you like that? I stole that line from my friend. I teach herbal classes here with the nonprofit, so people can come and learn. In Passion Flower, for example, we made a flower essence remedy, which is for emotional healing. So I've been a therapist for over 20 years, a lot of different integrative therapies, and I help people connect back to nature because nature is the real healer, your own body is the real healer, and when you're in a garden, it scientifically brings your blood pressure down. Well, I have to show you the Pineapple Peace Garden. So the name was derived from Peace Pilgrim, who was one of my idols. She was a penniless pilgrim that walked across America 7 times and for peace. So she was an inspiring woman, the first woman to ever hike the Appalachian Trail, and I love her. And also the garden is kind of a tribute, which I love. Another one of my heroes is Vandana Shiva, and I learned about her maybe 15 years ago on my first trip to India, and she talks about we all have to take back our food sovereignty. She's become very popular on podcasts, and she's worldwide known. And she wants the world to be in a better state. She's the one that single-handedly kicked out Monsanto from India, and she said the way is regenerative farming and backyard food forests, and we have to, as a community, come together, help each other, inspire each other, so we can grow not only food, but we can grow connections together. We can be connected to the earth, because when people are connected by eating the fruit and the flowers and, well, smelling the flowers, maybe not eating, although I do have some edible flowers in here too, that the world is going to be a better place, and that's where we want to live. We all want to live in a better world, but we can't depend on other people to do it for us. We have to We have to do it ourselves. Everything is trial and error. You can see this was our first attempt from a YouTube video, and then we perfected it a little bit over here, and that's the point. It's never going to be perfect. It's like a metaphor for life. Something's always growing, something's always dying, something always needs your attention, and if you want to get from the plants, you have to give. And that's the reciprocity, which is the new earth that's coming, which is collaboration instead of competition. And partly by growing your food and sharing with people and knowing that the effort you put in, and it's not always that way, sometimes you put in a lot of effort and the weather ruins things, but then you have appreciation for the farmer and what people go through to grow our food, that we think, oh, let's just go to the grocery store and get anything we want. But I've spent a lot of time in South America and Central America volunteering. I've been on farms, and you take for granted here so much as a Western person what it takes to feed yourself. And sometimes people in the West have looked down on other societies, but they could survive if something really bad happened, I can tell you. And most people here are not going to be able to. We're not for lack of knowledge. We are living in the times of the most knowledge is at our fingertips. Siri, Alexa, tell me this. I mean, people can know everything, but why aren't we healthier? Why aren't we happier? Why are there all these problems in the world if we have the knowledge? Because it's not just about knowledge. People think you have to know everything before you begin. You do not. You have to begin and then you will know. I started this called the Teaching Garden because I taught herbalism and I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner. And then the Mother Nature taught me, no, this is not a you teaching garden, this is a you learning garden. So I renamed it as the Learning Garden because I'm learning, and when people come here, we learn together. The old way is I'm the authority, I'm the teacher, I'm going to tell you. No, that's not the new way, that's not the new earth. The new earth is let's share. So I chant, I meditate, I sing the Gayatri mantra every morning, which is a salutation to the sun, to the garden, and I believe it helps the plants grow bigger. I do. Everything is vibration, so the plants help us with our vibration, we help them. You know, to have a space in your garden, you don't have to, build all this, but you could build things a lot nicer than this. This was my first time of building anything, and my dad and I, did a lot of it together, which was meaningful. And you can just have a little bench, with an umbrella or a pergola to make a sacred space for yourself. So part of it is also inspiring people to make that, whether it's a small altar by your fire pit or some rocks and a statue, where you can sit down and leave your problems behind. You can leave your inside of your house. You can have an area like that on a balcony. I lived in apartments in South Florida for 10 years, so I always had plants and some microgreens growing, some herbs. I have to be around plants. Some people have to fill their space with animals, and to me it's plants. It's what keeps me healthy and happy, and this space is just another calming addition. So when I tour people around the garden, we can end in here, maybe with some sound bowls. They lay over here. I might play a little music for them, and they leave feeling great. So they have the tranquility of the garden, they have the healing cottage, they have, need to listen and to be present. We just need to be present with each other and make the world a better place. So thank you for watching, and namaste, and I wish you well. Oh, and go to pineapplepeacegarden.org. I have to say that.